The Unwilling Witness. We sped along a highway west from Baghdad on March 31, 2004. Our security advisor had called to inform us about an attack in Fallujah against an American convoy. He had no details but warned us to be careful. What are reporters covering the war to do with such advice? Fallujah is known in Iraq as the city of mosques, and it had also become an al-Qaeda stronghold, dangerous territory for Americans or anyone employed by them. I had been reporting for the Times in Iraq, my native country, since the beginning of the Iraq War. I suggested to my American colleagues that I enter Fallujah accompanied by only an Iraqi driver, Muhammad. We would leave our press aids behind. I warned Muhammad, if someone asks, you say we are here to visit a friend. We arrived in Fallujah to see people gathered around two burned-out SUVs. Insurgents had gunned down 4 Blackwater security contractors who were driving through the city. A mob had set the vehicles ablaze. My reporter's instincts carried me, almost against my will, through the sea of rioters, to where the bodies of the contractors had been dragged. A bridge over the Euphrates about a half-mile away. 2 bodies were on the ground, their jackets still smoking. A boy of about 10 was kicking one of them, yelling, "Pacha, Pacha," the name of an Iraqi dish made from the head of a sheep. It crossed my mind that this child could not be human. Then my attention turned to the bodies swinging mutilated from the bridge. I felt briefly disoriented. Hordes of people glared at me, a stranger in a small, insular city. I pretended to be part of the crowd. These Americans deserve this destiny. I yelled. I knew I would be the 5th body if I were exposed as a reporter for a U.S. paper. When I returned to the bureau in Baghdad, I resolved to quit my job with the New York Times. It was too dangerous and too upsetting to witness the seething violence so closely. A few years later, after losing 2 of my Iraqi colleagues at the Times, both of whom were murdered, I finally did leave, to pursue a graduate degree and get away from a lifetime of war. I never imagined that on the quiet streets of Cambridge, Massachusetts, a world away from the chaos of Iraq, I would meet Donna Zavko, the mother of one of the murdered contractors. Zavko had come to attend an event at Harvard. A friend introduced us, knowing that I had been in Fallujah just after her son was killed. We met for breakfast in an oboe pan on a rainy Sunday in late winter. The woman sitting across from me was soft-spoken and warm, referring to me as a young boy. I was 39 and asking me about my life in Iraq. I learned from Zavko that, as I was standing in that mob in Fallujah, she was listening to a radio report of the deaths of 4 Americans in Iraq. She had emailed her son Jerry, telling him to be careful. 2 hours later, she learned that he was among the 4 killed.